The National Electrical Code, commonly known as the NEC, provides guidelines for safe electrical installations. One of the critical aspects of electrical work is selecting the correct wire size for a given application. This selection is primarily based on the ampacity of the wire, which refers to its current carrying capacity. Table 310.16 in the NEC is frequently used to determine the ampacity of conductors. It is crucial to understand how to properly utilize this table to ensure electrical safety and code compliance. A common misunderstanding is the belief that the 60°C column in Table 310.16 always dictates the wire size for number 1 American wire gauge, or AUG, and smaller conductors. This is not entirely accurate. The NEC does not explicitly state that the 60°C column should always be used for these wire sizes. The appropriate temperature column to use depends on several factors, including the termination temperature ratings of the connected equipment and the ambient temperature conditions. The ampacity values in Table 310.16 are based on specific conditions, including an ambient temperature of 30°C or 86°F. If the ambient temperature is higher than 30°C, ampacity correction factors must be applied to reduce the allowable ampacity of the conductor. These correction factors are provided in the NEC. Termination temperature ratings are also important. Electrical equipment, such as circuit breakers, switches, and receptacles, have terminals with specific temperature ratings. These ratings indicate the maximum temperature that the terminals can withstand without being damaged. Common termination temperature ratings are 60°C, 75°C, and 90°C. The conductor must be sized based on the lowest temperature rating of any termination point in the circuit. For example, if a circuit breaker has a 60°C termination rating, the conductor ampacity must be selected from the 60°C column in Table 310.16. even if the conductor itself is rated for a higher temperature. However, there are exceptions and specific rules that allow you to use higher temperature columns. Firstly, you can only use the higher temperature columns if both the conductor and the terminations are rated for that temperature. Secondly, even if both are rated higher, the allowable ampacity that you can use is limited to the lowest rated termination. Thirdly, the purpose of a higher temperature rated wire in applications where terminations are rated lower is for directing purposes only. Directing refers to reducing the allowable ampacity of a conductor due to factors such as ambient temperature, the number of conductors in a raceway, or other conditions that can increase the conductor's operating temperature. In situations where the ambient temperature is high or there are multiple current carrying conductors in a raceway or cable, the ampacity of the conductors must be derated to prevent overheating. The NEC provides tables and formulas for calculating derating factors. Using a conductor with a high temperature rating allows for more significant derating without exceeding the conductor's temperature limit. The ampacity values in Table 310.16 apply to specific installation conditions. These conditions include the type of insulation, the number of conductors in a raceway or cable, and the ambient temperature. If the installation conditions differ from those specified in the table, correction factors must be applied. Correction factors are used to adjust the ampacity values in Table 310.16 to account for variations in ambient temperature. Derating factors are used to adjust the ampacity values to account for the number of current carrying conductors in a raceway or cable. The NEC provides tables and formulas for calculating both correction factors and derating factors. When applying correction and derating factors, it is essential to follow the NEC guidelines carefully. Failure to do so can result in undersized conductors, which can lead to overheating, insulation damage, and even electrical fires. In addition to Table 310.16, the NEC contains other tables and articles that are relevant to wire sizing. For example, Table 310.15, formerly Table 310.16, provides ampacity ratings for conductors under various conditions. Article 310 covers conductors for general wiring and includes requirements for conductor insulation, ampacity, and installation. Article 400 covers flexible cords and cables and includes requirements for their use and ampacity. When selecting wire size, it is essential to consider the voltage drop in the circuit. Voltage drop refers to the decrease in voltage that occurs along the length of a conductor due to its resistance. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to a maximum of 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To calculate voltage drop, you need to know the length of the conductor, the current flowing through the conductor, and the resistance of the conductor. The resistance of the conductor can be found in NEC Chapter 9, Table 8. Once you have these values, you can use Ohm's law to calculate the voltage drop. If the calculated voltage drop exceeds the recommended limits, you will need to increase the size of the conductor to reduce the resistance and voltage drop. In summary, selecting the correct wire size is crucial for electrical safety and code compliance. While it is a common misconception that the 60°C column in Table 310.16 always dictates the wire size for number 1 AWG in smaller conductors, the appropriate temperature column to use depends on several factors, including the termination temperature ratings of the connected equipment and the ambient temperature conditions. Correction and dirting factors must be applied when the installation conditions differ from those specified in the table. Voltage drop must also be considered to ensure that equipment operates properly. By following the NEC guidelines and understanding the factors that affect wire ampacity, you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe and reliable. Furthermore, consider the conductor material. Copper and aluminum are the most common conductor materials, each with different ampacity characteristics. Copper has a higher conductivity than aluminum, meaning it can carry more current for a given size. Aluminum conductors are typically larger than copper conductors for the same ampacity rating. When using aluminum conductors, it's crucial to use connectors and terminals that are specifically rated for aluminum. Aluminum expands and contracts more than copper with temperature changes, which can lead to loose connections and overheating if not properly addressed. Also consider the insulation type. Different insulation types have different temperature ratings. Common insulation types include THHN, THWN, THW, and XHHW. THHN and THWN are commonly used for dry and damp locations, while THW is suitable for wet locations. XHHW has a higher temperature rating and is often used in high-temperature environments. The insulation type must be suitable for the environment in which the conductor will be installed. Consider the environment too. The environment in which the conductors are installed can significantly affect their ampacity. High ambient temperatures, exposure to sunlight, and corrosive environments can all reduce the ampacity of conductors. In these situations, it may be necessary to use conductors with higher temperature ratings or to provide additional protection for the conductors. Also consider continuous loads. The NEC defines a continuous load as a load that operates for 3 hours or more at a time. When sizing conductors for continuous loads, the NEC requires that the conductors be derated to 80% of their ampacity. This derating is necessary to prevent overheating of the conductors due to the prolonged current flow. This means you must multiply the continuous load by 1.25 and then select the wire size based on this adjusted load current. Another important aspect to consider is the overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect conductors from overloads and short circuits. The overcurrent protection device must be sized to protect the conductor but should not be larger than the conductor's ampacity. The NEC provides specific rules for sizing overcurrent protection devices, which must be followed carefully. For example, standard size overcurrent protection devices are commonly available, and the next higher standard size may be permitted if the conductor ampacity does not correspond exactly to a standard breaker size, as long as it doesn't violate other code requirements. Also consider the grounding and bonding. Grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, allowing the overcurrent protection device to trip and to energize the circuit. Bonding ensures that all metal parts of the electrical system are at the same potential, reducing the risk of electric shock. The NEC provides specific requirements for grounding and bonding, which must be followed carefully. Also consider future expansion. When designing an electrical system, it is essential to consider the possibility of future expansion. It may be wise to install larger conductors than are currently needed to accommodate future loads. This can save time and money in the long run by avoiding the need to replace conductors later on. Consulting with a qualified electrical engineer or electrician is always a good idea when designing or modifying an electrical system. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is essential to have the knowledge and experience necessary to do the job safely and correctly. Always follow the NEC guidelines and local codes to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. Also remember to document your work. Keep accurate records of all electrical work that you perform, including wire sizes, ampacity ratings, and overcurrent protection device sizes. This documentation can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Use appropriate tools and equipment. Use the right tools and equipment for the job. Using the wrong tools can be dangerous and can damage electrical components. Always use insulated tools when working on electrical circuits. Follow lockout and tagout procedures. Before working on any electrical circuit, be sure to follow lockout and tagout procedures to de-energize the circuit and prevent accidental energization. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated footwear when working on electrical circuits. Remember to inspect your work. After completing any electrical work, inspect it carefully to ensure that it is safe and compliant with the NEC guidelines and local codes. Use a checklist to ensure that you have covered all the necessary steps. Stay informed. Stay up to date on the latest NEC guidelines and local codes. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, and it is essential to stay informed to ensure that your work is safe and compliant. In conclusion, understanding wire sizing and the proper use of NEC Table 310.16 is paramount for safe and compliant electrical installations. Avoid common misconceptions, consider all relevant factors, and always prioritize safety. Electrical work demands precision and adherence to established standards.